on this episode.
Alright, Ron. Alright, look, stop making it weird. Even though that looks like a Kanjo car from Osaka, we're actually out here today in Australia, so something a little bit different here today. We're at the Drift Cadet event at Calder Park, and I've been invited out here again this year to do passenger rides and sort of, you know, do the usual YouTuber overseas thing. We have two cars here this weekend to drive. The first is this 8.6 by Drift Cadet, and the other one's a little bit special, a bit Australian spec, the Commodore Ute with a supercharged V8. So we get to do a bit of both this weekend and take people out in both of them. Something else a bit different this weekend, I have a cameraman. So wave to the camera, put you, there you go, hello. So we have a cameraman. So plan for today is go out on the track a lot, take people out in the V8 and in this thing. Also we're doing a little car show, a bit of a walk around and a cruise. So I just want to show you what a Drift Cadet event here at Calder Park is like.
Just like most track days, this one started with a driver's meeting where they go over all the rules for the day. Although the organiser, Pete from Drift Cadet, seemed a bit more interested in making balloon animals.
This is a new hobby. For the drifters over there, for the adults, nah, just little fun things. We kept hiring balloon animals and it cost us an arm and a leg. It's like $4 for a balloon.
Yeah, good job.
Drivers' meetings take a long time. A very long time. And it's mostly stuff you've heard before. But all tracks and different event organisers have different rules. So to make sure everyone has a good day, it's a good idea to stand up straight and listen. After that, I didn't have much else to do apart from stand around and have a chat, as all the other drivers and the people who wanted media vests signed up. After that, it was more chatting and standing around and meeting some of the spectators who showed up early. After making sure my merch stand was all good and ready to go, I got ready for the passenger sessions, which mostly consisted of just checking the tyre pressures and adjusting the safety harness in the cabin.
What?
Because it was still a new car to me, I took it out for a couple of test laps on the main Calder Park course.
Wow, professional.
Oh, why is the seat so
After that, it was back to the pits, meet some more spectators, take a quick break in the office, and then start doing passenger rides.
Hey, Rod. Always came for a hug.
Kane?
Always came.
This was my main job for the day, taking people out for 2-lap drift joyrides in the Drift Cadet Ute. While it's not the most traditional drift car, and is about as far from a JDM car as you can find, the big supercharged V8 meant you only needed to step on the throttle just lightly to smoke up the undersized rear tyres.
My first time in a drift car, I'm really scared. They've put some lanky dude in with me, and it's like, I've never seen him drive before, so I have no idea what to expect.
Hello.
How's it going?
How you doing, man?
Yeah, not bad, yourself.
Alright. Could be worse.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Could be the worst place to be today.
During the lunch break, Drift Cadet had a cruise session where everyone could take their car out for a 2-lap cruise around the track.
But let's go for a bit of a walk around here for all the other cars, because these aren't only the ones that are driving, these are some of the show and shine cars and the spectator cars as well. Straight out of Japan, the Chaser JZX100 with the, I think it's the full truss body kit that was, of that era. It's sort of the Commodore of Japan. Hate to say it, but it's true. So this one is V8 supercharged, sort of a underpullied one, so it makes a lot of power down low. This is what your usual street Commodore looks like. For those who don't know what a Commodore is, it's a Holden, which is an Australian car, but it uses GM parts. So this has, GM V8s. I don't know a whole lot about them, even though I'm from Australia. I was always into Japanese cars, but these cars are really popular in Australia. The old Nissan Bluebird back in the day, they used to race these at Bathurst, the Turbo TRX version. For some reason, Australians really like the more practical versions of cars. Like this is the Evo wagon, right? I don't know, like the Stages, the Evo wagons. Everyone's like, oh, it's like a Skyline, but it's a wagon, or it's like an Evo, but it's a wagon. But I don't know, it is cool though. Speaking of that, look, so like I was just saying, the Stager, Bipu, the Bipu on the Lexus with the AME Shallons. Sorry, so let's do that again. Cut, weds, crayons, wheels, of course, super slam, and that's what this. Can't show cigarette. This is actually a replica. That's not real. He made that. Japanese style cigarettes. Alright. You have a very late 90s, early 2000s street style Sylvia. Now, this sort of look is popular because a lot of the cops in Australia, also other countries too, are quite strict when it comes to ride height, body kits, and wheels and stuff like that. So if you go for that early 2000s style like this, you can kind of get away with a fairly modified car for that particular look and still be able to drive it on the street. As you can see, he's got rego plates, and also he's got this here, P plate. P means provisional, so he's probably like 17 or 18 years old, the driver of this car, and he can drive a car like this. A86, of course. Next to that, the Corolla, I think it's the Seeker. This is what I'm 43 now. When I was like 16, 17, this was like a pretty standard car for, a learner driver, like a 17, 18-year-old driver to buy this sort of thing. VL wagon. This is very Melbourne, I've got to say. The 70x9 Corvette wheels. So these also came in a turbo, but this is the RB30E. So single cam, 3-litre RB engine. Now this is real Australian culture, the dose pipe, okay? This noise. Here's another straight out of Japan car, this Sora. I spoke to if you've seen a car that looks like this before with like the rainbow holographic dragon on the side, that's sort of the look he's going for. Yeah, see the cameraman's nodding, he knows what I'm talking about. Now this was one of the ideal beginner drift cars for, I'd say, like the early 2000s in Australia. The Nissan, either the Nissan Skyline R31 or the Pintara. The reason these were popular is because they came stock with the 3-litre engine and manual, because they were, these were sold back in the 80s. Manual was still a very popular thing to buy in Australia back then. It's a man's transmission, the manual, right? And just going by the heat coming out of the bonnet here, I think this one's probably turbo. Yeah, it's got a boost gauge. Now this is something that didn't used to exist. The whole BMW thing. As drift cars are becoming more expensive, same thing in Australia as over in the States and other places like that. In Europe as well, obviously, people who want to drive a BMW, they are also available. Many cars are available for drift. Yay! Video.
During the cruise session, I hung back a bit and waited until everyone had cleared off the track, because I thought, well, since I was in a V8, I might as well do some Australian things.
Start to go.
This is the track manager of Calder Park. What I didn't know was that burnouts were not allowed on this particular part of the track. This is him telling me to pack it up and go home because I was now banned from driving. Shortly after this, I apologised, explained myself and promised to behave, which he seemed reasonably satisfied with. If only it was that easy with highway patrol. After that, we had a midday show with prizes and giveaways for drivers and spectators, like this bottle of radiator flush.
He's got a shitty radio, sorry. He's got a Subaru. He's got a Subaru.
I was also given the job of judging some prize trophies for the car show, so I went for a wander around to see what was there. I was also asked to judge the kids' colouring competition, which wasn't something I expected to do at a drift event.
I like it because they've made a big effort to avoid colouring over the sponsor logos, which is very important. It's Oliver.
When it came time for the trophies, I announced the winner of Best Drift Car, and it turned out the driver was already heading out onto the track, so I'd say he deserved it.
I was just saying, this is why you won Best Drift Car, because you're just keen to go out. There you go, mate.
The last event of the midday break was a meet and greet. One of the good side effects of making videos about things that you really like is that the people who share those interests will find you. Thanks to doing YouTube, I've travelled to dozens of places all over the world and met people who not only like cars, but also have the exact same interests that I do. Whether that means they have a drift car, would like to get one, or want to travel to Japan and experience the car culture there. It might sound strange, but after talking to so many people at events like this, I found that making content in a selfish way, that is to say only showing the things that you want to, things that you're really interested in doing, things that you want people to like because you like them, and not just trying to chase the algorithm or internet clout. That seems to be the best way to connect with an audience. After that small burnout I may or may not have done, the steering on the Holden started to feel a bit funny, so I switched over to the 8.6 for the afternoon sessions, which were being run on the reverse layout of the track. Got to say a big thanks to Drift Cadet for bringing me out to Melbourne again. It's always fun to travel and connect with local drivers anywhere in the world, but especially in my home country of Australia.
The reason they had to push it up there is because it ran out of fuel on the last lap of the passenger runs. Well, not my fault. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was Kumar. He was supposed to put fuel in, I think. I don't know. I probably should have checked. That's my... Anyway. All right, that's all for me today at Calder Park. Now, also I'd like to thank all these people here. This is my tier 3 subs over on Patreon. They get to see the videos early and help contribute to getting the cars back on the road. We actually sold some beer can merch here this weekend, which is going to help get that back on the road. Also, the next car is going to be the 1JZ Cresta. Looking forward to that. So, that's all for me today at Calder Park. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.